Welcome back to the John Trading channel. Today's video, I'm going to go over exactly my price prediction for HEX in 2023. Will we see HEX go up over 2000% and reach the old all-time high? Find out in this video. Make sure you stick around until the end. If you haven't already, leave a like on the video, make sure you're subscribed, and leave a comment if you're enjoying these daily crypto videos. I'm going to first begin by reviewing the price action that has already happened on HEX because that's really going to help us actually predict where the price is going to go in the future. Let's first look on this left-hand side of the chart. You can actually see that we were in a form of an expanding triangle in this area. We also had a lot of resistance. Look what happened when this resistance got broken through. We broke through that resistance level, came back, used it as a support level in this area, and then made that massive rocket to the upside. You can actually see how this resistance flip is now acting as a support level over in this area here. You can see once resistance gets flipped, it's always going to act as a support. Once a support level gets broken through, it's then going to act as a resistance. We're going to use this to form some of our analysis for HEX as we make this price prediction for 2023. Now taking a look at the exponential moving average, all in this area through here, you can see that the exponential moving average was sloping to the upside. And that always tells us that the highest probability play for HEX to continue moving is in that upwards direction. Now, we had this top back in 2021, late 2021. From the bottom to the top, you can see that HEX made a 20,000% move over a 200x. So I still see massive potential for HEX in 2023 and potentially pushing into 2024. Now, once we made that all-time high, you can then see that this exponential moving average began to go sideways and actually began to tick to the downside. We use this as resistance, and then down here as a resistance level. You would always hear me talking about this orange EMA and this purple EMA is known as the medium and short-term exponential moving average on this weekly time frame. So right in between these two EMAs is known as the value zone. And every time we come back into this value zone, you're going to see whichever this medium-term EMA is pointing, that's going to be the highest probability play. So you can see right when we came in this value zone here and the EMA was sloping to the downside, we did have some rejection, but we finally got a massive break above this resistance level. It's now going to be acting as that support level. And as we spoke about before, using this resistance flip, it's now acting as a support level for HEX right now in the price. So I do believe that the current price for HEX will definitely hold, and we're going to look for those positive moves to the upside because especially Ethereum, Bitcoin, and the entire crypto market is now becoming to get pushed back in to the next crypto bull run. And I believe HEX will not be any different from any of these coins. So here's my first price target for HEX in 2023. If you look in this area was used as a support level, right through this area here. What happens when a support level gets broken down? It will then act as a resistance level. So you can see price was traveling through this area and we finally came up and had a major stall in this area. Now, where does this major stall line up with? It perfectly lines up with what was originally support, broke through, now acting as this resistance level. So if we look at price right now, we're currently at the 2.2 cent mark. If we were to come back up to this initial resistance level, that's basically a 500% move on HEX. You can make up to 5 times your money on just this trade. And if you put your stop loss just below the low, which I think has a good probability of holding, that's a 25% risk. As much as that is a decently sized risk, you have a 25% risk, but you have a 500% reward. So that's over a 20-to-1 risk to reward ratio on this trade. And let's say that this only has a 50-50 chance of occurring because trading is never 100% in the market. If you have a 50-50% chance of occurrence and you have a 20-to-1 risk to reward ratio, if you plug that into my well-known trader's equation, you'll know that you have a massive positive trader's expectancy on this particular trade, meaning that you could take this trade 100 times, 1,000 times, and over the long run, you're guaranteed to make money. money. So this is my target one for HEX, that 500% potential gain. As I spoke about, using this support level, breaking through, and then acting as a resistance. But I don't think this level will act as a major resistance like it did back here, because we had that major push up and then we had an over 85% drop to the downside. Since we've already retested this area, I don't think that it will hold as that major resistance level. What I would expect is price to actually come up, break this level, and then maybe have a small sideways level, potentially use this as the next support level, and then rocket to the upside once again. Just before I move into target 2 for HEX, the reason that this level will also act as a small resistance level is because there were a lot of buyers up in this area for HEX. The reason that this will act as a small resistance level for HEX is because there were a lot of buyers in this area. From this low here all the way up, that was over a 650% gain on HEX. So there were a lot of people buying in this area thinking that we are going to rocket above the all-time high, but that wasn't the case. So you'll find that a lot of people bought in this area and they're actually still holding in their portfolio, and they're down roughly 80% on the trade. So what will happen is when there's buyers that were in this area and they finally see that price will come back and they can finally get out at break even, because say they put $1,000, they were down over $800. Now, once it comes back, they can say, finally, I can take my $1,000 out of the market and actually put it back into my portfolio. So once there are old buyers in this level, how are they going to get out of their position? Old buyers need to sell out of their position to actually get out of the market. And that's why I do think that this will be a small resistance level, because not only will we have these traders through this area using that support to resistance flip, they're going to be using that whole strategy. There's also going to be another whole group of traders that entered all the way at this high up here, and they're finally going to be getting out. So you're going to have that double momentum play from two different strategies in the market coming in and acting as that small resistance level. So let's move on to target 2 now for HEX in 2023. The tool I'm going to use now is the Fibonacci retracement tool. I'm going to take it from the all-time high of HEX at around the 52-cent mark, and I'm going to drag it all the way down to this low. And we're going to have some price populating in this area. We're going to have the 382 at this area here. We're then going to have the 0.5, then the 618, and then the 1-to-1 level back at the all-time high. So how do these levels actually line up in the market? Let's move over to the daily time frame, and I'll zoom into this area so you can see it more clearly. So my next point of interest, so I've now scrolled in on the daily chart for HEX. So I'm mainly looking just at this left-hand side here. I know price is continuing on the right, but I need to scroll in here because you can see the 0.382, 0.5, and the 618 levels. So my first point of interest right here is going to be this 0.382. So if we circle this 382 level, you can see that it has acted as a resistance level. We initially did have some support. We broke down, broke through, even used it as a bit of resistance, broke down again, came through, broke above this level through here, used it as support, broke through again, used it as support another time, broke below it, then it acted as a resistance level. So right through here, it acted as a resistance level once we got this breakdown below. Then what happened again? We got a really solid breakdown below. We came back up. We tried to break above this level, but again, it was quite a strong resistance level. The reason being support, then resistance, then breakdown, breakthrough, support, break up, support, up, all the way down, resistance, down, resistance. So you can see as much as this level is flipping from a support to a resistance level, it is quite strong in the market and would be a level that I'm actually looking at when trading HEX. Now scrolling back out again on the weekly chart, and you can see why it is such an important level. We got that break through this level, we came up, used it as support, broke down, used it as resistance, broke down, and then used it as resistance again for that solid break to the downside. So I would say that this 382 level right through here would be a really solid level to look for our next target, because we've got these support and resistance flips. We've also got another set of traders using these Fibonacci tools, you only trade off the 382, only trade off the 0.5 or the 618. So we've got multiple confluence in this market to say, once we reach that 382 level, there's going to be Fibonacci traders looking for at least a small push to the downside. We've also got those support and resistance flip traders also looking at this level for a potential flip to the downside, at least a small one. So I'm going to use this as my second target for HEX in 2023. And if we look at the price target, that's roughly an 800 to 850% gain on this trade. So using a potential stop loss of around 23% and having a potential of 850% profit in the market. So that's a massive risk to reward. Even on a 50-50 trade, you're going to have a massively positive traders equation. So this is going to be target 2 for HEX. My target 3 for HEX, I'm going to show you right now. So in this area, there was a lot of support. This price didn't quite make it down, but in this area, there is a lot of support, even shown on this bar here. What happened when support got broken through? We got that breakout to the downside. And then what happened here? We used that support and resistance flip, now using it as resistance to the downside. And we got a really solid breakout to the downside. We even used this 0.5 level as a bit of resistance. But look here, we got a really solid breakout again to the downside and then came back and tried to retest this support zone, flip to resistance, and we got that massive turn in the market from 38 cents to less than 2 cents. So we got a huge downturn in the market after this level, and it would make a lot of sense. Once these support and resistance flips get broken, they're going to act as major resistance in the market to the downside. And again, not only have we got these support and resistance flip traders looking for this price target, we've also got traders who only trade the 618, which is known as the golden zone in the Fibonacci, and is probably the #1 most important rule when trading the Fibonacci. Price nearly always comes back to this golden zone of the 618 level. So we've got that double momentum play here again. We've got people who are trying to get out of the market using these support and resistance flips. We've also got people who are still long in this market through here, and they saw this massive push to the upside. They thought HEX is going to break this all-time high and we're going to go higher. So you've got people right now in their portfolio who have bought HEX on this exact bar and they're still holding down at this 2 cent range. So you've got people using this support and resistance flip, looking for a move to the downside. You've also got traders who have been long forever, and once price finally comes back to their price, they're going to get out break even. Getting out of a long, you need to sell in the market. So you've got 2 sets of traders, and then you're going to have that third set of traders, people who are just trading this 618 level. So in this particular level, you're going to have a lot of momentum to the downside. Again, I don't think it's going to be massive momentum and it's really just going to push price all the way back down. I do think we're going to have at least a small stall in this area. Reason being is there will be a bit of selling momentum. You're going to have 3 different sets of traders that use completely different strategies in the market looking at this 618 level. So that's going to be my target 3 for HEX. So right now in the market, we've got these 3 major target levels. Target 1, using this support and resistance flip. Target 2, also using that support and resistance flip, but also playing into the Fibonacci levels. And target 3, using a massive support and resistance flip, also using a very key level in the Fibonacci. So from this price that we're at right now at the 2.2 cent level, if we were to go up back to target 3 in 2023, we would see that's a 1,400% gain on this particular trade. An absolutely massive move potential for HEX can come in 2023. Now, I'm going to show you my final target for HEX, which I think it's going to break above this all-time high and go even further. So let me show you that right now. The next tool I'm going to use is the trend-based Fibonacci extension. Now what you do is bring it all the way from the low, the complete low on the price of HEX, down at this 0.2 of a cent level. Now bring it all the way back up to this all-time high at the 52 cent level. And then I click and I drag it down to the current low in price, which was that 1.7 cent level. And you can see prices getting populated in this area. Now, look how perfect this also is. We've got some perfect level target 3s also lining up with the 618 on the trend-based Fibonacci extension. We've also got target 2 perfectly lining up with the 38.2% on the trend-based Fibonacci extension. And finally, we've got target 1 also lining up nearly perfect with this 23.6 level on the Fibonacci trend-based extension. So now I'm using a whole different strategy using the trend-based extension, and you can see how perfect it is lining up with these target 1, target 2, and target 3 levels. But this is the key level that I'm going to show you right now. The most important number in this trend-based Fibonacci extension is known as this extension golden zone through here. It's the 1618 level and the 175 level. So you can see that currently correlates to about the 90-cent range on HEX. So if we make a price target from our current price, bring it all the way up, that's a 4,000% return on HEX. Now, based on that we're already halfway through the year, I do think that this could potentially take a little bit longer than just 2023. We could take at least a couple of months into 2024 before we reach this price. But you can see how perfect this actually lines up with this trend-based Fibonacci extension known as the golden level. So what it's actually showing is that we're going to break above this high and at least come up to somewhere around this level has a decent probability, especially if all the other cryptos begin to make a bull run all the way up, breaking their all-time high, then this also has a very high probability of then following them and doing a very similar move. But instead of only going up 3 to 4 times like Bitcoin, this could have that 40x potential. And this is going to be my last target 4 on HEX. I do think that when HEX comes and tries to retest its all-time high, I don't think it's going to act as much as a resistance level. We're going to look for levels in the future, and this could definitely be the level. Now, HEX could go even further than this, but when you're trading, you need to have some solid price targets and say, once price reaches this level, maybe I'm going to sell 50% of my portfolio, maybe 75, maybe 25. What I am looking for is the highest probability plays, which is going to be target 4 for HEX, making that potential 4,000% return in the market. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, leave a like on the video, make sure you're subscribed for future videos, and leave a comment if you've been enjoying my daily crypto videos. I'll see you in the next one.